Technidyne is doing our next series of stories, Technidyne Tough, where we elaborate on our experiences in the pulp and paper industry and all of its gross and sometimes a stinky glory, and how our instruments have powered through all that to provide customers with reliable data and help them make improvements and ultimately make their products better. My story is on a newer instrument, a newer guy, newer instrument, but still just as tough as the rest of all these old people around here. Continue the legacy of our color touch instruments being built in a way that is future-proof, as we like to say. Our story begins in a pulp mill in North Carolina. It's the most corroded environment I've seen by far. There's corrosion everywhere in the lab, and it's something that our previous line of color touch instruments has known and proved itself to exist and function well in these environments, especially when maintained with the preventative maintenance program and replacement of consumable parts. And with regular maintenance, they can go 10, 20, 25 years sometimes. So in that spirit, and with our next line of instruments, we hope to maintain that same level of quality and consistency. And in my experience, we're excelling at that. CTX, when I first saw it, had been there just under 3 years. They had other instrumentation in the lab that was similar lifespan that they had been complaining about. And in our discussions with the CTX too, the corrosion was the topic of discussion. Our instrument was faring better than some of the other ones, so they're kind of curious what it is we've done to ensure that our instruments are Technidyne Tough, and also what they can do to ensure that their other instruments can exist going into the future. Using ours as the model of that lab. So in this corrosive environment, the CTX seemed to fare better than other instruments, acting in the same Technidyne Tough way as our previous instruments. And regular maintenance, just as good as day one, even though it may show those physical signs of corrosion like the other instrumentations, its function remains the same. Part of Technidyne's DNA is the idea of Technidyne Tough, and building instruments that are going to be reliable and able to be used day in, day out, 24/7, various shifts throughout the most harsh conditions, and retain that functionality for 10, 15, 20, some cases, maybe not the best, 30 years, maybe built too tough. What we have here is the new color touch instrument, built to the same Technidyne Tough standard, the same bomb-proof design, with updated aesthetics and user interface functionality that have stood the test of time so far in these most corrosive, harsh environments with success, or with more success than other competitive instruments in these sorts of environments.